Just waiting for the referee, Aaron Jackson, to get us underway. And now we are off with Gleeson looking to play the ball out towards the left-hand side for Cranston. The header away comes from Barrows. It's played backwards by Maycock, of course, as we mentioned, making his first start. Archer getting up to win the ball. James Ball taking it down on his chest and looking to move down the left-hand side. Got Cranston in support. The ball's going to get the crossing towards Archer. He just can't quite get the kind of clean contact that he would have wanted on it. But it's a nice start for the Moors, and they have already shown the first signs of good direction. I think that was really the key for the Moors against Wrexham. They didn't have much of the ball, but when they did, they were direct with it. And I think that was really the difference between the two sides. Moors just winning a free kick in the air here. I believe it might have been an offside there against one of the Kings Lynn Town strikers. And now the Moors get back underway. There's a ball from Hancocks, and Hancocks is indeed playing that left-sided centre-back role in this game. Meanwhile, Callum Howe lining up towards the right-hand side. As you see, Darren Carter just getting a ball away under pressure, and it's going to be a Kings Lynn throw. Waiting for Barrow to line this one up as it goes deep down the right-hand side. There is a header inside, but Gleeson will clear it away high, looking for Archer, who show surprisingly good strength up against the big Wrexham defenders. Of course, Fika Kelleher amongst those on Tuesday evening. Archer certainly able to play that hold-up role that you really do like to see more strikers play. Of course, we saw plenty of that from Danny Wright over the past couple of seasons, and certainly with Archer bringing that to the team, as well as, of course, Adam Rooney, who is out injured at the moment. I think it's safe to say that Danny Wright will be missed, but not too much. There's certainly plenty of his style of play among the Moors' new strikers. Just a long ball coming down the right-hand side at the moment, but easily headed away there. Ball now coming back the way of Ryan Boot. Kings Lynn have gone behind early in the respective halves of their games. They went behind very early in the second half against Yeovil, pretty much straight after the kick-off. Yeovil were able to get a set piece in from the left-hand side that was headed into the net. And then they conceded a 6-minute penalty at Maidenhead. And of course, as we mentioned, being behind twice in both of their first two games means that Kings Lynn you're going to find it difficult to beat Kings Lynn mentally. That they're never really going to feel that they're out of the game. They'll always feel like they can get something, and they'll always push hard. They've also got nothing to lose with 4 points in the bag, and certainly that's a point haul that they will have taken. As we see, a good move coming down the left-hand side at the moment, with Cranston trying to get a ball in, and it is partially blocked, but it is saved from going out for a corner by Barrows, so the Moors have to throw it down the left-hand side. But certainly the key, really, you would think, for Jimmy Shan's side is to try and keep possession and make Kings Lynn try and chase the ball and try and tie them out physically. If you can do that, that might be your route to success. Cranston taking the throw-in from right below our commentary position. Callum Howe is forward for this one, but it's going the way of Ball. Goes over, it could come to Archer, but just bouncing off of his knee, it appeared, and safely into the hands of Archie Mayer. Mayer will just roll out now, going towards his left-hand side, and that is McCauley. Then played backwards by Brown. And now here's Cameron King, losing possession to Darren Carter there, coming out from his centre-back role. But the Moors unable to find space in front of, towards the front of the field there, so it goes back to Carter and now to Boot. And now here's Hancocks, looking to play the 1-2 in Maycock, looking for a player in space down the left-hand side. Archer was just making a run, but the possession is lost, and now almost a through ball slotted in towards Southwell in space, and he could have been away there. Danger. Potential danger anyway, early on there for the Moors. Ball is played out towards Howe, but Howe has lost possession there, going towards Jarvis, and now here's King once again. And the Moors having to show some of that early defensive discipline in terms of maintaining their shape at times already here, but really not too much going on in these opening 5 minutes. As now the ball is with Barrows, looking for a run from the right-hand side there. Looks like that might have been Southwell just peeling away from his striking role. Now it's with Marriott, and both of these Kings Lynn strikers certainly can drop deep, as King looks to play the ball down the line towards Marriott, but it was wayward there, and the Moors get a throw in a defensive position. Marriott, the star man, you have to say, for Kings Lynn. He was a top scorer in the National League North last season, 28 goals, and he was also the top scorer in the Southern League Premier Central the previous season. Of course, Kings Lynn, those of you just joining us, earning back-to-back promotions. The Moors just look to build a move from defence here, with Howe looking for a long ball, look towards Sabara, but that was over him, and Macaulay is able to play it to Jarvis, but Jarvis has played that one out for a throw. The Moors will be grateful for the chance to regroup there. But Marriott finishing as top scorer in both the last 2 seasons in Kings Lynn respective divisions, despite the fact that in that 2018-19 campaign he'd only joined in October. Williams at the moment just looking to find some space down the right wing. He's kind of run into a defender there, but then managed to peel away from that challenge. Maycock will now try and spread the ball out towards the left, but it's wayward. Barrows will be on this throw, just around 10 to 15 yards inside of his own half. Worth mentioning about Marriott that he has been somewhat less prolific at this level, hasn't played in the National League for a while, but when he did, he scored some 14 times in 76 appearances before this season, predominantly coming with Cambridge United, albeit that being quite a long time ago. But you get the feeling that Kings Lynn season will largely ride on Marriott, although he has only gotten one of the 5 Kings Lynn goals so far in this campaign. The visitors just have a throw-in on the right-hand side, fairly deep in Moors territory at the moment, and Barrows will take this one, going short and then back his way. And free kick going the way of the visitors. There was just a slight trip there on Barrows as the ball came back his way. And it looks like this is going to be Jones, the man of the hour from Maidenhead, who is going to play this one in. Looks as if both Smith and Macaulay are forward for this one. Moors with just 2 men in the wall, everyone else in a line with their markers. And now here comes the ball from Jones. It's going in towards the back post. And actually, if anything, it looked more like a shot as Ryan Boot just punches away at the far post, and it goes out for a throw down the left-hand side. Taken by King, it appeared to Jarvis, and now trying to make some space down the left-hand side is Alex Brown. The ball going out of play, a challenge from Tyrone Williams. Looks like it may have taken a ricochet and gone out for the Moors throw there. Just looking for a big man down the right-hand side. Maycock is the man nearest to it, but if anything, Williams almost kind of guided him out of play on that throw, so Kings Lynn get it right back just beyond the halfway line, just inside of Moors territory. Just keeping a look, of course, at some of the latest injury updates. For those of you who did not get to see the interview with Jimmy Shan, Alex Gudger is off for a scan today. Adam Rooney is reportedly not too far away, although not in this particular matchday squad, as the ball is played by James Ball towards Archer. Archer losing the ball there, getting involved in a tough challenge, but getting some help from his teammates there. Looked like Gleeson may have just been slightly tripped, but Kings Lynn come away with possession. Barrows is just going to go back towards the goalkeeper here. Now the ball from Macaulay going down towards Brown. The long ball easily headed away by Tyrone Williams. Throw in a defensive area at the moment as the ball comes towards Jordan Richards. But both sides able to keep a fairly disciplined defensive shape so far. Neither side really able to do much with the possession. Kings Lynn, of course, had that free kick that Ryan Boot parried away at his far post. Was never really going to trouble him. Could be a through ball towards Sabara here, and Sabara is onside. Could he be through on goal and score early? It's a save in the end with his feet, but the attack could still be alive as Williams has it back now. Maycock short to Sabara. Kings Lynn doing a good job of just taking the space away from the Moors there, and they do eventually get it clear. Southwell just not able to get to that clearance. Callum Howe will look to play it back towards Ryan Boot and does. But the first truly early sight on goal coming the Moors' way as the ball was played inside to Sabara. Completely lost his marker there, really. And I guess that may be just a sign of some vulnerability in the Kings Lynn defence. Of course, conceding almost as many as they've scored. As Boot plays the ball out towards Hancock's on the left-hand side. Looking for Archer there, and Smith has kept that ball in play. Darren Carter just coming across the left-hand side to regain possession and play this one back to Boot. Worth noting, of course, that the Moors have won there as a bit of a wayward ball played right towards Jones, and there could be a Gavin Maycock doing well to win possession. Actually gets a free kick there, despite the fact that he stayed on his feet. Wanted to take that quickly, actually. The calls are play on, and certainly in that position, just from where we are on the field, there were options available going forward for the Moors, but now Tyrone Williams could be ahead of his man, and Sabara finds him with a through ball. Could be a chance for first-time cross if Williams could keep it in play. He doesn't, but he does get the corner. So he tried to get the cross in. It looks as if it was the recovering Alex Brown helping out there. This will get ball into position to come forward. Carter, Howe will come forward. Presumably Hancock's is the obvious option to stay back here. Of course, a natural left back and not the biggest, so obvious candidate not to come forward. Tyrone Williams is also staying back. Howard and Maycock just aligned around where the penalty area is. The ball comes short towards the near post and evades almost everybody. Not quite cleared. Marriott is back there just hoofing it out for a throw. And Cranston's going to leave the throw for Tyrone Williams here. Cranston normally the much better long throw option, but Williams appears to have improved in that regard just coming into the season. He does have short options here with Maycock, and he does indeed go that way. Now Williams going back to Maycock, but it's forced all the way back to Darren Carter, who's going to look for the long ball. James Ball is there to try and win it, and does get up in front of his defender. Now can Archer try and turn? Well, being penalised in the end. Looks like it may have been an offside there. Indeed it was. And the ball will be played short by Archie Mayer. Good high pressing at the moment from the Moors, and now Archer is going to try and chase this one down, and the goalkeeper playing this one a little bit too close. Can James Ball get there? No, not really in position to try and get there. Barrow's playing the long ball, almost guided out of play there just on this near side. But Boot now will roll out towards Callum Howe. Just a bit more pace in the Moors play just in these last 30 to 60 seconds, but they've lost the ball trying to go long towards the right-hand side there. They can see opportunities to get Sabara free, but maybe just a little bit too much ambition there from Jimmy Shan's side, trying to get the ball down the right flank. And now Barrows looks for a ball inside. Looks like it's Southwell who's come to guide it backwards there. Indeed it was. Now here's Richards. Space towards the left-hand side if Jarvis wants it. And now the ball comes back to him through Brown. They're looking for a long ball here, but Callum Howe gets this one away. And the long ball comes once again, but that's too wayward, too high really, and too long for the likes of Marriott to try and chase down. Marriott appears to be lining up fairly consistently towards the left-hand side. Hancock's just having to turn away from Southwell there. And the ball goes back Carter's way. We were just about to say a few moments ago, the Moors, of course, have won their last 5 fixtures against newly promoted teams at Dams and Park, as Sabara has just tripped there slightly and wins the free kick just behind the halfway line, plays short to Gleeson. And there could be space opening up down the right-hand side. Indeed, there is for Maycock, who turns and makes use of it. Could be a free ball towards Sabara, but he goes shorter towards Archer. Archer steals the ball away from the defender, now played back to Maycock. Now Williams with a bit of space to cross, bit of wall watching arguably from Kings Lynn. Now comes in, low diving header, gets it away, but only as far as Gleeson, who might fancy a strike from here, and he does. It's deflected, corner Moors. Jordan Cranston looking a little bit frustrated just towards the left-hand side here. I'm not sure if the frustration was directed at Gleeson for shooting there or somewhere else, but certainly Gleeson had a little space to work with. Once again, Carter and Howe forward. Looks like Cranston may also be an interested party in terms of getting into the penalty area here. Tyrone Williams certainly wants to go forward, but he will stay just outside the areas. Here comes the corner from Gleeson. It's a good one going in towards Howe. Defenders just won the header there, and indeed it goes Kings Lynn's way on the free kick. Certainly the Moors, just as they were at times against Wrexham, just beginning to find little tiny pockets of space going just towards the right-hand side. Tyrone Williams getting himself into a couple of good positions, and certainly Kings Lynn perhaps guilty of trying to follow players around at times, as that ball is a bit wayward. Looks like the referee just has completely missed what was going on there, as a clearance went short from the goalkeeper, and the referee has ordered the free kick to be taken, but it looks to me as if the referee has just completely missed what happened there. I think he must have thought that the defender was taking the free kick and not Archie Mayer, but Archie Mayer had already taken it. Either way, the header from the right-hand side goes down towards Marriott, but is cleared by the Moors. Kings able to keep it in play, but it's a rather dangerous pass back towards Barrows, who wasn't really looking to see where James Ball was, and the Moors will be thankful for that gift as they get a throw-in down the left-hand side. Everybody pointing out the goalkeeper touched it on that free kick. I think the referee may well have realised now that he wasn't looking at the play and therefore made the wrong call. Gleeson now playing back to Cranston off of the throw as they exchange a 1-2, but good pressing from Jordan Richards forces the Moors backwards and may bring Adam Marriott in position to get the ball off of Callum Howe. Good work from the Moors captain there. But it does end up going all the way back to Ryan Booth. Moors arguably just shading this one so far as Archer looks to get Sabara free on the right side, but the ball goes loose towards Maycock, and Archer chases one down, not quite Barrows. Recovering there just towards the left-hand side from a Moors perspective, as now the ball is back with Hancock's. Ball inside towards Archer, good strength from him, hold up play once again. Helps the Moors find Tyrone Williams free, and now Sabara working down the right, and he does get ahead of Macaulay there. Has to turn away, has help from Maycock, and now Williams gets in front of his man once again. Can he find a cross? Not quite, unfortunately, as it goes behind and out for a goal kick. Once again, Tyrone Williams doing a good job so far in that right wing-back position. I think Ty might have expected to be playing more in the role that Callum Howe is playing in today. Might have expected to play more of that type of role, what with the introduction of Cameron Cox to the squad, but Cox not able to see any action following the game against Woking, as now the clearance comes from Mayer off of the goal kick, going over Southwell there. Southwell, one of 2 former Halifax Town players in the team, alongside Cameron King, as Archer is just pushed over there, and the free kick goes the Moors' way off of, it appeared, Chris Smith. Looked like Gleeson wanted to take that short there towards Ball, but there was a defender who would have been in position to make the interception. So now the Moors go down the other side instead, as Williams could get Sabara free, but turns inside instead. Nice turn from Archer, and can he get to the second ball? He just about doesn't. It's still loose, but Sabara can't quite get there as Mayer anticipated that one well, just sensing that he was going to need to come out there because there would have been a Moors man oncoming. And the work from Sabara and Williams is certainly causing Kings Lynn problems at the moment, as the Moors are just beginning to establish a bit more of the ascendancy here. Adam Marriott trying to come away towards the right-hand side to chase down a long ball there. But now the Moors will resume possession, but a loose ball from Howe brings Jarvis into possession, but he can't find Cameron King. Kings Lynn do get it back, however, and now there might be some space for Barrows to exploit. Ball chasing him down, and does he concede the free kick there? No, actually, Barrows running into Jordan Cranston, and the Moors get the free kick instead. And Cranston down here, and this could be, of course, a concern for the Moors. They do have Jordan Piggott if they need, and then, of course, Hancock's could switch out to Cranston's role if need be, but certainly Jimmy Shan already worried about bodies in defence, and the hope right now, more than usual, will be that Jordan Cranston will be okay to continue as a result of this collision. Those of you who are just joining the stream, we are 20 minutes into this game between the Moors and Kings Lynn Town. It's 0-0, but the Moors just beginning to establish control of this one. Jimmy Shan will be relatively happy with what he's seen in the opening 20 minutes. The best chance falling for Joe Sabara, who got free just towards the right-hand side of the field, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but Mayer able to make the save with his feet just towards his left and helping keep the scores at 0-0. But Sabara and Tyrone Williams both causing problems. They seem to be the path to success for the Moors so far in this one. This, of course, gives us a good opportunity to take a look at the scores elsewhere around the National League. Looks like Wrexham have taken an early lead at Yeovil Town. Meanwhile, Chesterfield leading at home against Woking, and Altrincham could be a bit of an upset on here. They lead 1-0 away at the early pace setters Eastleigh. Elsewhere, Notts County looking in very good shape at the moment. They are 2-0 up at home against Barnet, that courtesy of goals from Robertson Wootton there. Meanwhile, Bromley have themselves an early lead against Torquay United. Meanwhile, over on the opposite side of the field to our commentary position, Jordan Cranston is up, looking somewhat worse for wear. Just trying to see if there's any signs of a substitution below us. Certainly Jordan Piggott appears to be warming up, just running past us towards this side. But it looks as if Jordan Cranston will do everything he can to return to the field. Whether or not he will looks to be in some doubt at the moment. So the Moors, it appears, will be down to 10 men just temporarily. Ryan Boot will get this ball back into play. Just coming down towards the left-hand side, and somewhat wayward for James Ball. Just a bit too powerful there from the Moors keeper. Just look back, of course, at those last 5 games that the Moors have won against newly promoted opposition here. Stockport and Torquay were the beaten teams last season. Of course, the games against Woking and Chorley were not played, as Cranston almost gets a through ball towards Sabara there, who was somewhat free in the middle. A bit of a fight for possession here. But just about sees Kingston come away with it at the end, and Marriott could be in a good position to get in front of Darren Carter here, and the ball takes a generous bounce inside that helps him keep it in play. King is in the area. If Marriott can get around Cranston, and the cross comes in. King just trying to find someone on the turn. Can't quite do so, but it comes towards Marriott, whose shot is blocked. Could be a second attempt, but Mitch Hancock is there to meet it. However, his clearance is blocked. And now King's Lynn could keep the attack alive. Comes inside towards Southwell, and he does get it inside towards King, who had a little bit of space in front of him initially. And now here's Barrows. Shaping outside, but just there, Cranston able to break up the momentum of that attack as the ball went outside towards Aaron Jones. Now Barrows getting in front of ball. Can he find a cross? He can, but Callum Howe steers it away. Still alive for Jarvis, but now back in the King's Lynn defence, and this is their best spell of the game so far in terms of their ability to be able to maintain possession. Amazingly, despite the fact they have 4 points, they've only really been in front in any game after that last gaff goal against Maidenhead. So they're not used to being in a position of command, you'd have to say, as a wayward ball almost goes through to Sparrow, and now can Archer win it? Not quite, bit of a hard collision, but all was fair in the end. As Barrows does a good job of keeping the ball in play down this near side. And now here's Jarvis, looking to spread the ball across on the Moors, leaving the left wing back open there. That's Alex Brown looking to guide it across to Cameron King, but there to meet it was Callum Howe. Now the ball coming inside towards Southwell as Kingston get the throw away quickly. Now the cross coming in towards Marriott, could reach the back post, and there was a header coming in there. Looked like that was the match winner from Tuesday evening, Aaron Jones, coming all the way across from the right wing back position, but couldn't really get the kind of contact on it that he would have wanted. He was always second favourite there. But nonetheless, that's just a sign of the work rate and the ambition that King's Lynn will show, and they certainly won't fear anything in this game. They won't fear passing the ball around. They won't fear having the ball passed around them. They'll always feel they're in this one. They have been throughout the course of the first 2 games. There's a late challenge there by Jordan Cranston that doesn't draw a booking. Bit of leniency there from the referee, Aaron Jackson. The Moors will be happy with that, as the ball is now back in the heart of the King's Lynn defence, and Smith is going to play this one across to Barrows, who certainly looks to be eager to get forward despite being in effectively a centre-back role. Good through ball up towards King here, and could try and reach Marriott, but Darren Carter gets in the way. But now the ball could break back for Marriott, and Marriott is offside in the end. That was a late flag, but better late than never from the Moors' perspective there, as it broke loose towards the right-hand side, and the through ball did find Marriott, and he is deadly in those situations, but Ryan Boot was nonetheless able to make the save, so even if he had been on, Boot was alert to it. But just in these last 5 minutes, if you're a Linnets fan, you're very encouraged by what you've seen. Moors haven't been able to exploit any more of that kind of space they found in attack down the right-hand side through Sabara and Williams. And indeed, it's the visitors who have enjoyed more of the possession. But now there could be something on here for the Moors as Maycock plays outside to Williams, looking to try and take on the defender. Sabara in front of him, up against Jarvis, turns away from Jarvis and now finds a man inside. And here's Maycock. Has to turn, and now Sabara could strike, and it was actually going towards Archer. I think that might have been intended as more of a cross than a shot. Looking for Archer to try and poke it in with a low header. Now the high ball from Gleeson was looking for a runner down the right-hand side, but nobody was expecting that chip ball to go that way, and it goes out for a goal kick. Jarvis just in possession, playing out towards the left-hand side, but good high pressing once again, and Archer almost stealing it away there from Macaulay. Ball just going over Southwell there, and Southwell penalised for his challenge on Hancock's. Cranston looking for the ball cross field. It's actually going up the way, all the way towards Sabara, headed away, could come for Archer. Archer just backed into there, and free kick goes the Moors' way. And well, Darren Carter, of course, is playing at centre-back, but this looks like it's perfect Darren Carter territory here. If it's not, then it might just be because it's slightly too far out. Jordan Cranston is the man who's going to be over the ball at the moment, and now here comes Clark. showing some interest in this one. But I think he might fancy it just be 1 or 2 yards closer. Callum Howe is forward here. He's just on the far left-hand side of this set piece, and it is going to be guided in from Cranston. Or it could easily be a shot. We've not seen Cranston shoot from here, but that looks like it's what he's lining up to do, and it's straight at Mayor in the Kings Lynn goal. But I think certainly when the Moors do get in towards the final third, they're just showing more and more danger, even though Kings Lynn have had that 5-minute spell of play just a couple of moments ago. Oh, and the ball bounces there off of James Ball and almost falls the way of Archer. That's good anticipation. That's what the high pressing can do. It can force mistakes just like that. And once again, the high pressing from Callum Howe coming away from centre-back there up against Marriott, but the Moors can't get the ball through towards Archer. And now this could be a chance for Brown to try and attack, but Moors once again steal away possession. Archer gets a free kick. It looked like the referee wanted to play advantage, but just waited there. I think the referee was really looking for maybe some space to come the way of Tyrone Williams before he did eventually blow the whistles. That ball was almost played a bit too close to Southwell. But now a chip ball up towards Sabara, but it's too far wide of him. Just another word on Moore's injury. There's the word on Nick Clayton Phillips is that he is 6 weeks away from returning to action. But certainly the benefit for the Moors this season is that they have a much deeper squad and they have some extra versatility as well. What with the likes of Darren Carter and Mitch Hancock's playing those centre-back roles. Hancock's at the moment is on the ball and he's done well to keep it in play, and it has snuck through towards Archer, who's shown good strength against Smith. Trying to evade the challenge of Richards. He might have actually been better served going down there. He would have won the free kick, you'd think. But now Sabara is on the ball, and can he play it into a James Ball? He can, and can it reach ball? Not quite. Good vision there from the Moors, and that draws a round of applause just going over to our right-hand side, around about some 35 to 40 yards away. Of course, once again, those of you who watch the feed on Tuesday may be aware that my commentary position is actually some 30 or 40 yards to the left of what you are seeing on the feed. As Boot plays a long ball away, once again looking for Archer. So instrumental in the hold-up play here for the Moors, and there could be space for James Ball to try and exploit. I think he wanted Howe to play the long ball there. As it is, the long ball was played by Williams and was wayward. Kings Lynn back in possession. Visitors wanting a decision and they don't get one, and in the end the play is stopped because of an injury for Joe Sabara. Word from the referee is he's okay. So we are used to seeing goals certainly in Kings Lynn Town games, less so in Moors games. Five scored, 4 conceded for the visitors, as opposed to 2 scored, 2 conceded for the Moors. But of course, it is worth noting that that game between Kings Lynn and Yeovil got to half-time at 0-0. Kings Lynn resuming with a drop ball. Tyrone Williams will do well to win this header, and he does, but he can't keep it in play for Sabara. Doing all he could there just to get on the end of that long ball. Ball coming short off the throw into Cameron King, but he's lost it to Sabara. And now going inside towards Archer. Ball is not able to get to that one, but it's played high and out of play by, that looked like it was Barrows there, just coming across from his right-sided position. Of course, it's worth noting that for those of you listening on Switch Radio on the website, we also have a feed on FM. Sutton Coldfield Town in action against Lincoln United in that one. Sutton looking to bounce back from a 7-1 defeat, a heavy defeat against Belperaf in midweek. That came after a really good game that I had the fortune of calling last weekend when they took on Leek Town, who are really the favourites to win the league there. Sutton are going to be edging that one in a 1-1 draw. The Moors at the moment just looking to play out from the back of the field, and good high pressing from the visitors here, but the Moors do eventually get it out towards Callum Howe. And he's going to look for the long ball coming up towards Archer, and Archer's enjoyed this matchup against Smith so far. But that particular ball just a bit wide to the right for Archer's liking. And in the last few moments, certainly after that moment where James Ball got a nick on an attempted crossfield clearance, other than that, Kings Lynn, I think, will be fairly happy with what's gone on in the last 10 minutes. They've rather brought the game back to a bit of a stalemate. Hancock just takes the ball on the left-hand side. But once again, that good high pressing from Barrows, who's almost pushed up into a midfield position. And the Moors just really just trying to take what the opposition are giving them at this point, as Kings Lynn have shifted into a more organised shape. And I think that's really key for Jimmy Shan, is that you don't want to have possession for the sake of it, but when the opposition aren't giving you anything, just stay patient. They might have something at the moment, but Jordan Cranston, sadly for the Moors, is offside. And now Aaron Jones getting into it with Cranston. Jordan Cranston seeing how many times he can get the referee to say put the ball down to him whilst not getting booked. I don't think he wanted to push it any more than that last time the referee said put the ball down. Joe Sabara trying to push high up the field at the moment. Kingsley may have some space to exploit down the left-hand side. Cameron King just shaping up that way, but Jarvis can't find him. It ends up back with Richards. And our ball is going to try and close down Barrows. Clearance is safely controlled by Darren Carter, but he's lost possession to Southwell. Ball forward towards Marriott is wayward, however, and the ball ends up safely back with Ryan Boot. The clearance is not the cleanest, and Stephen Gleeson was standing off of Cameron King there, and so there could be an attack coming down the right-hand side, but good challenge there by Jordan Cranston. Whose ball is that? It's Kings Lynn's corner. This once again is going to bring Smith and Macaulay into position to try and nab one home. Everyone except Archer back in the penalty area for the Moors. As now here comes the corner. It's high, could come towards the back post. Macaulay does win a header, but it's safely into the hands of Ryan Boot, who I think wanted to set up something quickly. Joe Sabara certainly wanted the ball to come his way as soon as possible. He knows that he's got the pace advantage on his marker there. It was Cameron King, actually, who was marking him, so no wonder Sabara wanted the ball to come his way. Potential mismatch there with an attacking midfielder up against a fellow attacking midfielder. But the ball now back on the right-hand side for the Moors. Switch inside and Maycock now. Sabara trying to make something happen with a good flick ball inside and out. Archer, can he beat Smith for pace? He can, but he's just going to hold up the ball instead. Ball goes low towards Sabara, who slots home. And that is exactly what Cameron Archer can do, just teasing the defender on the right-hand side and then beating him for pace. The ball that came inside his way was very delicate, and then Archer with a great piece of skill to get it low underneath Smith's legs, inside towards Sabara, who was oncoming and unmarked, and Joe Sabara slotting it home underneath Archie Mayer to make it Moors 1, Kings Lynn Town 0. And I think you have to say that is just a sign of the quality that Jimmy Shan's side have been threatening to show down that right-hand side of the field throughout the course of the game. Archer, Sabara and Tyrone Williams really enjoying their matchups down the right-hand side. And it was Archer's pace there. The hold-up play is what's been so key from Archer throughout the course of this game, but it was the pace there that made the difference on that particular move that got Sabara into score. And you can see now the injection of hunger that that's brought to the Moors. They really sense, I think they're aware really, I'm sure Jimmy Shan would have preached this throughout the course of the last few days, that you have to kill off Kings Lynn. This situation will not faze them. Archer in the corner at the moment trying to make something happen. Trying to twist and turn, gets the ball through Smith, and Jones there to clear, and the Moors get the corner. And if they could get a second before half-time, then maybe that is the kind of thing that just might be mentally too tough a task to overcome for the visitors, you think. Mitch Hancock's just trying to make himself available for what has actually ended up being a throw there. We called corner initially, but now Cranston will go for the long throw, going up towards ball. Jones gets it away on the head. And then King helping out, but Carter is just going to tease it back in towards the area. Howe can't win the header. Could come towards Maycock, but he's just caught Richards there. And the decision goes Kings Lynn's way. Barrows at the moment on the right-hand side will get the ball, just looking to play it in towards Southwell. And Southwell's done a good job as he slid down there to try and guide the ball towards Marriott. However, the momentum of that attack breaks down as good high pressing from Joe Sabara once again forces the ball all the way back to Archie Met. Hancock's winning the header up towards Callum Howe. High rather than long. Richards is able to turn and keep possession, but Southwell can't quite come inside against Mitch Hancock's, as he was just trying to guide the ball outside of him and then twist inside so he could follow up, but rather overhit the first touch there. Hancock's looking to play the ball towards Sabara, who was just peeling inside from the right-hand side, but either way it's won by Kings Lynn. But now the high ball once again coming the way of Archer, and on a rare occasion, Smith is able to win the ball from Archer, and that was one of them. Hancock's the route back to his goalkeeper was cut off there, so he's forced to go long. Smith wins the header against Archer, but Darren Carter is there to follow up over towards Tyrone Williams, bouncing awkwardly for Ty, but he does manage to guide it towards Maycock. But the loose ball is not one that Tyrone Williams can guide towards Joe Sabara on the far sideline. Barrow's now back on the ball down the right-hand side. Looks as if there is any route to success for Kings Lynn, it probably has been down the right-hand side, as it looks like King was just pushed slightly there by Darren Carter, a soft one, but no question it's a free kick. As one of the Kings Lynn assistants there makes a real hash of trying to retrieve the ball, to the urgency that they have in terms of trying to get back into the game before half-time. Now the ball is with Macaulay. And a cross could come in, but Tyrone Williams is equal to it. Certainly Kings Lynn have been given some space to attack the left-hand side, but they've just not had that much success going down that way. But a dangerous cross does come in, but looks like it was Marriott there. Indeed, it was trying to attack it and just couldn't quite wrestle it up against Darren Carter there. And I think having had that sniff with the deep throw just after the goal, it looks as if the Moors have just tried to regain control. I think Jimmy Shan will be happy to go back into the game into the dressing room, at 1-0, but could be danger here as they've lost possession on the halfway line. However, Maycock is able to wrestle it away. Can Archer hold his line here? Maycock's going to play it out towards Sabara instead. Sabara will try and take on Macaulay. He gets a ricochet. It was off of the arm, but it was never going to be given as a handball. Either way, Kings Lynn come away with it now through King. Going outside there towards the left, and now back with Jarvis. Richards plays across towards Barrows, who has a bit of space and could try and work it inside. And there's a trip there from Hancock, but no free kick given. And now Gleeson. Sabara screaming for it towards his right side, but it's going to go Archer's way. Archer is offside, however. Gleeson trying to plead his case towards Sabara as to why the ball didn't go his way. 3 minutes of stoppage time. They've just gone up on the board. But both Archer and Sabara there were threatening to lose their markers. It was pretty much a 2-on-1 situation there. But now a through ball coming the way of Southwell, who is clear. Can Ryan Boot come up towards him? He can, and he does make the good low save. And that's the best chance that's come the way of the visitors in the opening 45 minutes as Southwell just getting in between two defenders there. Looks like Tyrone Williams might have been one of them who was back there. It was in the area that Williams and Howe have been occupying throughout the course of the game. And Ryan Boot bailing out his defence and coming off seemingly worse aware as a result, as we can just now see him down. Of course, we are on the far side of the field, so we don't have the best of views of that goal mouth there. At least not when it is crowded full of yellow shirts. We don't. Presumably Boot just winded as a result of that ball that was played right onto his chest. Looked like it came right off his chest and out for the corner. This could add a little bit of extra time onto stoppage time. An equaliser here, of course, could be deadly. Kings Lynn have been so strong towards the end of the second half. They scored in the 87th minute and in the 90th minute of their first two games, and they're looking to repeat that feat here at the end of the first half. Boot is now up and okay, as we would have expected. And here it comes. It's right towards the edge of the area, and it looks like Sabara may have just stolen it from King there. And now can he get to the second ball? It's driven low, and well, that actually ended up being more of a shot there from range. It was low, and Boot was aware that it was going wide, but he couldn't be certain. He was unsighted for a short moment there. But that attempted drive towards the penalty area, not going too far wide of the post there. As Boot is able to get it clear now. It's a rather wayward clearance, and Southwell is able to win the header, but it's fallen for Carter. Bit of a scramble here to try and keep possession, and there, that looks like Southwell trying to get around Cranston, and could there be a card coming here? It looks as if there might be. Referee's just going to put the chalk down first. We'll see whether or not he has a word with Jordan Cranston. Doesn't look as if he will at this point. So Kings Lynn just getting a sniff of things towards the end of the first half. The Moors relatively in control for most of the game, but two set pieces coming the way of the Linnets, and of course the effort from Southwell being turned away by Ryan Boot. It'll be Jones, the match winner from Tuesday, on this free kick. Here it comes. It's actually going to drive right at Ryan Boot and over the crossbar, and we do indeed now get to half-time. So I think all in all, Jimmy Shan's going to be fairly happy with that first 45 minutes. The Moors showing good quality at times and maintaining the possession when they needed to, because Kings Lynn, for a 10-minute spell there, were able to keep a good disciplined shape, but for the most part, the Moors enjoying success down the right-hand side of the field, and the goal coming down that side of the field through Cameron Archer's good pace up against the defender Chris Smith, managing to get around him to the outside and then slotting a ball into the penalty area, and there, unmarked, rushing into slot home, was Joe Sabara to make it 1-0 to the Moors. There was a chance for Kings Lynn just up the other end just a few moments ago when Southwell got in between a couple of Moors defenders just towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, but Ryan Boot was able to come off of his line and make the save low. Some chances for the Moors over the course of the game. Before the goal, most notably the one that came Sabara's way when he got through, was pretty much clean through, well outside of the penalty area and got one-on-one with Archie Mair, but his effort was turned away. But as it is, the Moors, I think 1-0, really an accurate reflection of the way this game has gone so far. And we will see you after this half-time break. And we are now back on air on Solihull Moors TV. Been back on air on the radio feed for a good few moments now. Thank you for those of you who have joined us on Solihull Moors TV in association with Primrose's Kitchen and the Moors. You resume us with the Moors holding the 1-0 lead against Kings Lynn, looking to make it back-to-back wins at home and back-to-back clean sheets, of course, at home as well. What a joy that would be for Jimmy Shan. He's already got himself 2 out of 3. Can he make it 3 out of 4 in this second half? Well, Kings Lynn will, of course, be looking to prevent that. And they have come from behind twice in both of their first 2 games, looking to repeat the feat. Hopefully, from their perspective, they'll only have to do it once this time around. But we will see. Certainly, we, from a Moors TV perspective, will be hoping they're not. But by the same token, we do hope that those of you listening into the feed would appreciate our efforts to keep as unbiased as we can be, as Gleeson is just playing the ball high on the right-hand side. Sabara keeping it in play down there and up towards Archer. Ball making the run into the penalty area. If Archer can find him, it's blocked. It almost comes, so it does come towards Sabara, but he rather mishits his effort. But now comes the Krantz on the edge of the area. If he can find a shot, which he can, and it's turned over the crossbar there by Archie Mair. Good, energetic start to the second half from the Moors. And of course, we did note in the first half that Yeovil got a goal right at this point in the game. They opened the scoring in that first game of the season at Kings Lynn. The Moors looking to double their lead here at this point in the game. This, of course, is the scenario from which Cranston got the ball to James Ball for the goal against Wrexham. What can you hear? Ball's on the far post at the moment. It comes low and is cleared straight back out for a corner. That was Barrows on the end of that delivery, which was rather low. I don't think that's what he would have hoped for. Cranston will be happy to have a take 2 here. Darren Carter just jostling for position, so too is Ball as it comes right into the goal mouth and headed in by Archer. And certainly Archer's hard work throughout these first 2 games has really deserved a goal. And you have to say, Cranston's set pieces have been excellent. I think one of the biggest things that was really missing from last season was the impact that Darren Carter was able to make with his set piece deliveries throughout the course of that promotion effort in 18-19, the playoff effort of 2018-19. And Cranston, so far in these last 2 games, is helping make the difference. 2 goals in the last 2 games coming off of corners from the left wing from Jordan Cranston. And that time it was Archer, unmarked, to nod home. And the Moors have gotten a goal at a key point in the game. And Kings Lynn, for the first time this season, have to come back from 2 goals down. And you do wonder if maybe that challenge is going to be too much for them. The key for them will be to score in the next few moments if they can do so, and it's Brown who is on the ball at the moment. We'll see if there will be some more urgency from the Linnets in the next few minutes, because certainly if they're going to get back into the game, as Cranston almost runs into the linesman there. Bit of a friendly exchange between the two. No harm, no foul, as it's just started raining here at Damson Park, although it does look quite bright over us. Well, I say bright, it's grey, but it's not as dark as the rain would usually lead you to believe it is, as the throwing down the left-hand side is rather wayward from a Moors perspective, and it ends up back at the feet of Archie Mair. Mair's clearance is looking to get towards Brown, but Tyrone Williams has won the header. And Gleeson could be in with a chance here. Can he slide through to Archer? He can. And Archer, good save, but can the Moors follow up on it? No, they can't, as it bounces nicely. In the end, it was parried for Chris Smith to clear away. But the Moors coming very close. You can argue that they could be 4-0 up here with Sabara being one-on-one and then Archer as well. But you have to say that Archie Mayer has done a very good job of keeping his side in the game with that save low to his left from Sabara in the first half, and then that effort there. The goalkeeper was almost wrong-footed, but he managed to make a good save as the ball comes off of Brown's arm and the handball is given to the Moors. Not really much he could have done about that one, if we're honest. I think if there was ever a call for ball to arm, that was certainly it. You can hear the cries of cheaters coming from the Kings Lynn bench there. You do sympathise with that. I think either way, even if that free kick hadn't been awarded, it looked to have fairly clearly gone out for the goal kick. I myself was keeping an eye on the referee just to see what he would do. Carter now has the ball and going across to Hancocks and almost out of play and indeed out of play. So that's the kind of mistake that Kings Lynn will be hoping to capitalise on. The ball is coming down towards Southwell, but he has pushed down Carter over there, and that opportunity to put on some pressure goes begging right away. Elsewhere in the National League, just looking to see where we've seen any changes. There is one at Eastleigh. They've gotten back level at home there against Altrincham. It was Kevin Miley who's gotten the equaliser there right on the stroke of half-time after Yusufu Cisse gave the visitors the surprise lead. As the rain has stopped and we can see a rainbow in the distance, and Cameron Archer chasing the ball down as if it were a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, but not able to keep it in play. Elsewhere, Notts County have scored. They've also conceded against Barnet, but they retain their 2-goal lead, 3-1 there, as the Moors get a throw-in just inside of Kings Lynn territory. The ball was just to have drifted out of play, according to the linesman on that side of the field. Elsewhere, Hartlepool have a 3-0 lead. That's literally just happened because we can't yet see the third scorer there, but you do fear Maidenhead might be in some trouble. As the ball is on the right side for Tyrone Williams right now. He was looking for a through ball towards Gleeson, and Williams has done well to win it back actually and gets pushed over. Tyrone Williams not giving up on that move. Not necessarily the technical skill going his way there, but the desire there. Getting the Moors into a position where they can make something happen on this set piece and really, truly kill off the game, you would think. Of course, I'm sure all Moors fans will know that a 3-0 lead with 15 minutes left is never safe. I won't mention the opponents on that particular day. But Gleeson lining up the ball at the moment. Cranston could get this one in as well with the in-swinger. But it will be Gleeson just to chip it in, go towards the back post, and a push there. James Ball is the man who gets penalised. As it may well have been Barrows that went down there. Indeed it was. James Ball just having a further word. Perhaps arguing that Barrows went down a little bit too easily. Hard to tell from our angle exactly what happened. We were looking more at the ball. Of course, the late kick-off in the National League today is Dagenham Redbridge against Wilton. New look Dagenham Redbridge, you have to say. One of the teams alongside probably Wrexham that were hotly tipped to make big improvements after making some really good summer signings, I think we can call them. It was a very long summer, of course, as the ball comes down the right-hand side, looking to get Marriott into play. Marriott will perhaps be a bit frustrated that he's not really seen much service come his way, but there's a good piece of play there. Looks like it was Cameron King trying to dribble his way into the penalty area, but he just shown a little bit too much of the ball there to Maycock and Gleeson, and the free kick goes the Moors' way just on the edge of their own area. The ball is going to go back to Ryan Boots. I think Jimmy Shand, this is the kind of position that Jimmy Shand's sides love to be in, the position where they can just control possession in the game, kill clock, take what's given to them in terms of going to look for a third goal. And I think the Moors will feel, as we've mentioned so many times over the course of this game, Kings Lynn very much used to playing from behind, and the Moors will want to kill off this game with a third goal as quickly as they can, but they're not going to be overzealous in going looking for it, you'll say. As now this is Brown trying to get the ball away from Tyrone Williams. I think Williams got a touch to that. No, he hasn't. So throwing goes the Moors' way. It was just a gust of wind there, and it was hard to tell if it was the wind there that took that one out of play, or if it was a touch from Williams, the linesman, thinking the wind did it. Williams looking for help short from Archer, but the defender just gets in front of him there, and the ball comes Southwell's way. He's played a good ball backwards, and now the attack could be on down the left-hand side, but Darren Carter cleaning up the pieces, almost playing as a left-sided sweeper there. Well, right-sided sweeper was Carter. Left side, of course, from the Kings Lynn perspective, as Brown will get the ball back into play from this throw, but that was a dangerous move that could have been on there if not for Carter's intervention. The pressing from Archer forces the ball all the way back to Archie Mayer, and this should arrive nicely with Hancock, who looks to have guided inside. Maycock trying to chase it down, and does. And could he play in Archer? He's going to go to the left side instead with Ball. Defender just standing off him to begin with. Can Ball get a low cross in? He'll try. Defender wins the ball, but concedes the corner. That looked to be Barrows in on that challenge once again up against James Ball. Barrows has had a lot to do. I think it's safe to say he's probably been the best of the Kings Lynn defenders in this game. Smith and Macaulay just haven't really looked to enjoy their matchups. And of course it's this exact set piece from which the Moors got their second goal. Archer is right on the line. There's plenty of Moors players just behind them as the ball comes the way of, looked to be Howe. It's cleared, but only as far as Cranston once again, who looked to get another ball in, looking for the head of Carter. It's nodded out as far as Sabara, who looked to take control of it against Cameron King, and as he got around in there, he has, as the decision actually goes the other way. Looked as if Sabara may have been tripped, but actually wasn't. He seemingly, according to the referee, has seemingly lost his footing and fallen into Cameron King. And now here comes two substitutions. So Michael Clunan will make his way onto the field. And the other man, this looks like it is Carey. We'll just get confirmation of that for you. It is indeed, yes. So it's Sonny Carey onto the field. And Michael Clunan on as well. Going off are Ryan Jarvis, and just trying to see the other player who has gone off. They're walking away just behind the goalkeeper Archie Mayer at the moment. We couldn't quite see the shirt number either on the fourth official's board, nor can we see it from the defender walking behind the goal at the other end of the field. At the moment, the Moors have a throw. Cranston right on the halfway line here. So we'll see what kind of change of shape that we get here, because Carey's a natural right midfielder. And Clunan very much a central man. It appears as if they still have the back three, so it appears as if they've kept the same kind of shape. And it's Southwell, it appears. No, Southwell is still on the field. We'll get there. Ball out for the right-hand side with Kings Lynn at the moment. Played across towards Macaulay, and now here's Brown. under pressure from Tyrone Williams, and there's men in front of Williams here, Sabara and Archer, looking to cut off the route back to the goalkeeper, but not quite able to do so. Ball coming high up towards Marriott. Richards looking to win it there. Cameron King is the other man who's gone off. Clearance from Mayer, going down the right-hand side. Could be dangerous for Hancocks to deal with, and Carter just about gets it away, but only as far as Clunan. And there's a good run coming here from Jones on the right-hand side. Can he find space? He does with a 1-2 from Clunan, and now going into the area and getting a low crossing, turned away by Carter, and turned away well towards Sabara, who can try and set up a counter-attack. Only Archer in front of him. Archer's going to try and break away to the right-hand side. Archer, great turn away from Macaulay. Can he play back inside to Sabara? Route has just been cut off there. And Archer, with that superb piece of skill, ends up winning the corner. There were 3 defenders trying to cut off the route across the penalty area, so I think that was really the best Archer could have done there. The angle perhaps too tight for a shot. If he'd have had an angle to work with, then that might have been the best option. But as it was, he's done well to win a corner there, and that was a good take, really, from Archer on that ball, just because he was running the other direction to where the ball was coming from, and he really managed to rather wrong foot Macaulay there. And now Cranston with the in-swinger this time. Sabara making himself available as an option short, but surely the ball won't go that way. Carter adjusting for position. It's coming in towards the back post. Archer once again getting his head to it, but he can't direct it towards goal. There was another Moors man making a sprinting in from the left-hand side. It was hard to tell who it was, as now there will be a change from the host. Jamie Osborne will be the man coming onto the field, and making his way off is James Ball, who hasn't quite made the same impact on the game as he did against Wrexham. And that, of course, will allow Osborne to see plenty more game time than he saw on Tuesday, but Ball getting a big round of applause. But the success in this particular game has really come through Joe Sabara. Of course, he has one of the 2 goals. But Archer, Sabara and Tyrone Williams, you would probably identify as the 3 best players for the Moors today, able to take advantage of the space that has come their way on the right-hand side throughout the first half. And then Archer nodding in from the corner just at the start of this second half. Carter just clearing a long ball coming down the left-hand side from Moors' perspective there. Ball just being chipped through there by Barrows, but Carter helps it away high, not particularly long, and Jamie Osborne just being penalised there in an aerial tussle with Jordan Richards. For those of you just joining the feed for whatever reason, the 2 goals coming from Joe Sabara and Cameron Archer. Sabara's in the first half. Moors have had good chances throughout the games. Both the goal scorers having one-on-one situations with a goalkeeper that were turned away really by pretty good saves from Archie Mayer, as the Moors do a good job to win a throw in there. Tyrone Williams helping disrupt that particular piece of link-up play between Brown and looks like I think that was Clunan there. Ball is headed out there by Richards, and that's going to be another Moors throw. I think Jimmy Shan is going to be really, really happy with the way that things have gone at the start of this second half, that they've made the big step they needed towards killing off the game, and now there could be another step here as Archer is showing good strength against Smith. Turns the ball back the way of Osborne. And we know that he can make things happen out of nowhere. He's going to try and chip the ball across to Tyrone Williams, who wins it in the air, but I think really what Williams wanted to try and do there was nod it high and back down towards himself. If he could just win the aerial tussle against the defender, he would have been the favourite to react to what would effectively have been knocked down to himself. But instead, the header going wide of the goal. And now King's Lynn back with the ball in play. McCauley going across to Barrows, and it's rather a loose ball. Osborne slides in well and chips it in. Well, there you go. That's what Jamie Osborne can do for you. Right after he comes onto the field, he chips Archie Mayer from distance. And that's an example of just the all-round play that Jamie Osborne brings to the Moors as he slides in there up against Barrows, showing good anticipation of where the ball was going to end up, sensing that he could catch Barrows out and force it, not necessarily a mistake, but just force the pressure there against Barrows. And he did so, and he got up and had the vision to see that the goalkeeper was off his line and attempt something just completely out of the ordinary. And Kyle Storer warming up just below us with the huge smile, as I'm sure that is shared across every other Moors player that is out on the field at the moment. But Osborne with a wondrous chip to make it 3-0 to the Moors. And I think that really, you hope, and we say hope because, as we mentioned a few moments ago, Moors fans know all too well about 3-0 leads here. But you would hope that this is one that they will keep. They certainly look like keeping it. There's not really been much in the way of clear-cut opportunities for Kings Lynn, bar the chance for Southwell right before half-time that was turned away low by Ryan Boot, just towards the right-hand side of his penalty area. Osborne and Archer with the 1-2 off the throw at the moment. Nobody other than Sabara available in the area. Archer's going to play it short to Maycock, and what you're going to see now is the Moors just looking more and more for that control that we talked about. Elsewhere in the National League, as we just take a look to see what other goals we have. We have a 2-0 lead for Stockport against Dover Athletic. Rooney and Reid. Alex Reid, of course, a former Moors man. Cranston here just looks for anyone he can find in any kind of space, holding on to the ball for quite some time before he gets it up towards Archer, who can't win an Archer. He's been penalised there for a push in the back. Those of you who watch the friendly against Hereford, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Which was the better goal, Jamie Osborne in that pre-season game, or Jamie Osborne just now with that chip? Those of you watching the TV feed, let us know. Tweet at Solihull Moors. We'll keep an eye on that one and see what you guys think. Of course, you can tweet me as well, at Team BenMC. Commentating for you today here at the SportNation.bet Stadium. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you these last couple of games. And it'll be a privilege also to be here for the Boreham Wood game, as Osborne tries to flick a ball through towards Cameron Archer, and it actually has gone loose there and could arrive with, that looks to be Marriott playing it through towards Jamar Loza. And could that be a penalty? No. Loza not too happy about it. Difficult to see exactly whether or not that should have been given, because the tackle was made. Loza was really running with his back to us there. So it's difficult to see whether or not the Moors defender caught any of the ball. But certainly that's the referee's interpretation of it. Either that, or he felt that Loza just went looking for it a bit too easily. And of course, Loza has come on in place of Adam Marriott, who we mentioned a few moments ago would have been frustrated with the service that's come his way today. Just the Moors not offering much in terms of space to their opponents, as Callum Howell has let a ball go wayward there. Brown playing the 1-2 there with Clunan. Macaulay inside of Richards. Up against opposite number Gleeson. Losa plays it back now. This is a good move here for Kingston, but the Moors have players back in all the positions they need, and you're going to see more of that work rate. But now here, the man just got around Maycott there and sliding in to have a go. That was Carey there, drifting in from the right-hand side. Carey being asked to play a central midfield role. At the moment, he was playing more towards the right-hand side in the game against Yeovil. But Kingston really keeping at the moment that what is effectively a 3-5-2 hybrid. Boot looking to get it down the throat of Archer, and that's going to be a free kick given for a push by Archer. Clunan just looking to guide it through an army of Moore's bodies through to Carey, but Carey then has to dance right back through that army, and as a result the ball goes back to the Kings Lynn defence and the ball wayward. I think this is really Kings Lynn just looking to try and make something spectacular happen with some of these crossfield balls. You have to say Kings Lynn are a team that we normally, at least in the first couple of games, we've seen them play in a very direct manner. We've seen them play at a high intensity. They've been able to exploit space, but this really just a case of A, the Moors not giving them space, and B, the Moors maintaining possession pretty well throughout the course of this game, as it looks like Howe was going to get a free kick, but the advantage has been played here, and now Sabar will be able to dance away down the right-hand side. He's kept the ball in, and the ball almost drifts inside towards Archer and to Osborne. Now, Archer, could he turn? Not quite. Ball could be in for Osborne to win it, and he has won it. Could he slot it home? That's a great save, but a fourth goal for the Moors from Archer as he takes advantage. That was a really good save from Archie May. You have to give him credit there, as Osborne just won the ball on the edge of the area. If anything there, that goal has come as a result of Kings Lynn being a bit lackadaisical on the edge of the area in possession. Osborne stealing it away, as he did for the third goal, of course. Firing at goal, Archie Mayer going low to his right to make a good save, but there to follow up with great anticipation was Cameron Archer for a well-deserved second of the game, and he's been a real find as Cameron Archer. He's shown great speed, great strength in the hold-up play, and great anticipation just there to make that fourth goal happen. Really looks a complete player, does Cameron Archer. I think one thing for sure is that Adam Rooney, of course, so many Moors fans identifying him as the key player, the star player for the Moors throughout the course of this season. But by the way that Archer's going, you wonder if Rooney will find his way back into the side, such as the quality been from Archer. And now Archer is going to make way. And this is well-deserved here. An appearance off the bench for Ben Usher Shipway. And it looks like Usher Shipway is going to line up as a striker here. We've seen him as a right winger for much of the first team game time that he has played. Of course, he played at right wing back in that pre-season friendly that we mentioned right at the top of the show when he played against Coventry City. He had himself an excellent game there. He set up the first goal in that game for Beasley, that Beasley effectively hit home on the half volley. And there you see the pace from Usher Shipway. But we, of course, on Switch Radio got the privilege of seeing Ben Usher Shipway play a few times at Sutton Coldfield Town last season. And he showed great energy, great pace, and ability to make things happen at that level. Of course, that level is effectively step 4 of the non-league ladder. And of course, it's a huge step up for him to step one here as that throw is wayward from Cranston, and it could stay alive there for Southwell, but Tyrone Williams with a good challenge to take the ball away from Carey. And now Osborne going to try and flick it on to Ben Shipway. Can he get around Smith? Not quite. Smith wins the ball, and it's actually a Kings Lynn throw come off of Shipway last. But what we did note with Ben Shipway in that right wing back position against Coventry City was that he was up against the normal starting left back for the Sky Blues, and he certainly didn't look intimidated by that matchup. If anything, it brought the best out of him. So he's sure not intimidated by the step up, not just up to step one of the non-league ladder, but to championship type of level, really, if that Coventry game is anything to go by. But here he's lining up as a striker, naturally a right winger, lined up at right wing back in that Coventry friendly. Kings in at the moment trying to get out of a tight spot, and that's unlucky there for Maycock as he looked to steal the ball away from Richards and set a push a Shipway with an opportunity to go and grab a fifth in this game. For those of you who have missed any of the last few moments of the stream, you may not have seen a brilliant goal from Jamie Osborne as he stole the ball away from Barrows around 30 yards from goal, just sliding in to win it off him, and then cheekily chipping Archie Mayer to make it free before the fourth came the way of Archer after Osborne once again stole the ball, this time on the edge of the area off one of the Kings in centre-backs. Had a go, it was saved by Mayer, low to his right, a very good save, but Archer was there to react to it and tap in to make it 4-0 to the Moors. Since then, Archer has gone off, he's been replaced by Ben Shipway. But this has been a 4-star performance from the Moors, and really it's 5-star in all but the score. There could be an attack once again on for the Moors as Sabara's played it out towards the right-hand side. Tyrone Williams will look to take on the defender. He's going to make a burst into the area and just get closed down a bit there. Callum Maycock is there helping him, and he goes that way. Now inside towards Sabara. Sabara trying to guide it back in. And Maycock just being penalised slightly there. Southwell trying to help it out towards the right-hand side. But that ball is wayward down the right flank for Kings Lynn, and the Moors will get possession back, although they're in a bit of a hole here in terms of Kings Lynn being able to press high against them. Usher Shipway, the goalkeeper rather differing with that ball there. Ends up right on the head of Hancock, and Osborne will play it to Gleeson.
Go.
Cranston with a ball back to Mitch Hancock's there that was pretty difficult to deal with, but Ryan Boot will eventually get it cleared after he gets it back from Hancock. Sabara runs amazingly from an offside position. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen a player offside after receiving the ball in their own half. Such was the distance that Sabara made up to retrieve that ball. Dangerous one coming down the left-hand side. Can Brown win this against Tyrone Williams? He can. He'll try and poke it under Ryan Boot, who makes a good save just low. That was one of those awkward ones that could have easily rolled underneath him, but Boot was alert. And that probably the best sight of goal that Kings Lynn have had in the course of this second half, as Howe looked to play a long ball in towards Usher Shipway. Can he put the defender under pressure? Mayer has to come off his line, not realising he had to do so until nearly the last second. But all safe in the end. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the National League, Barnet have gotten a goal back against Notts County, so it could be a nervy finish there, as it looks like the Moors were about to make their final substitution of the game. It looks as if this is going to be Piggott coming onto the field, and coming off will be Jordan Cranston. Of course, Cranston taking a little bit of a knock earlier on in this game. That will allow Mitch Hancox to move out to Cranston's left wing-back position. Cranston, of course, with the assist on the corner, getting the ball over to Archer, who headed in the second goal. Elsewhere, Torquay United have equalised. That was actually some 20 minutes ago down at Bromley. As the ball heads back towards Ryan Boot, and now across to Piggott. Piggott will line up in what you would think is a very natural position for him at the right side of centre-back. It will allow Howe, of course, to move into his natural middle position, and Carter to move towards left. Oh, this ball back is wayward, but Ryan Boot is not wayward, but it was rather under-hit by Callum Howe. And Ryan Boot able to clean up in the end. Usher Shipway threatening to steal the ball away from the... Oh, the ball has gone right to Sabara, and Sabara could make it 5, but it's a great save by Archie Mayer. And Mayer really has done a pretty good job of preventing this from being a 7 or an 8-0, quite frankly. Jamie Osborne is going to go across to take this corner. Lamore's ambition continues, with Darren Carter going into the penalty area, standing right on the goal line. Forward also is Howe. The Moors clearly want to make it 5 here. Osborne will get the ball in towards the heart of the goal, and there it is. Howe makes it 5. And that really rather just a bit too easy. It looked like that Howe was up against his opposite number there and just beat him both for pace and for strength. And Howe, the captain, able to make it 5 as the goalkeeper there, Archie Mayer, has thrown what I can only imagine was a drinks bottle well outside of the stadium. Archie Mayer might have himself a career as a quarterback with that kind of throw. And that just a sign, really, of the frustration that has set in for Kings Lynn Town as Osborne guided in a delightful corner that was perfectly placed for Howe. Right, ideal height, ideal pace for him to bury it. And it is a 5-star performance for the Moors, both metaphorically and in terms of the score sheet now. And there is still, of course, some 10 minutes left, so you do wonder if there is every opportunity it could get worse. But Kings Lynn coming forward at the moment with a good move by Brown. Free kick's going to come Kings Lynn's way, but the advantage has been paid. And could that be a penalty? No, those appeals will be turned away. I think that might have been a slightly better shout than the previous one, but I think Howe might have gotten a touch of the ball there. Certainly Loza was looking to have a bit of a push at Callum Howe after that decision went against him. Jamie Osborne trying to have a word here with the referee, as of course Jamie Osborne always likes to do. Perhaps making the case that Loza is going to try and keep looking for cheap penalties. And I think that really is just a sign of the intensity that Jamie Osborne loves to play at. A perfectionist at 5-0. Don't let the opposition striker try and win cheap penalties. Very easy as a Moore supporter to say, who cares, you're 5-0 up, but that just shows the level of expectation here. As Usher Shipway gets in position to strike, could Osborne have a go? His shot is deflected safely in the end into the hands of Mayer. So this, of course, we mentioned earlier in the game, that stat that the Moors have won their last 5 games. against newly promoted opposition here at the SportNation.bet Stadium. Of course, Stockport and Torquay last season, and then the season before, they beat Havant to Waterlooville. That crazy game where the late-term goal came from Alex Goodger before that goal that Danny Wright converted after probably the greatest pass I've ever seen at Damson Park, when Kyle Storer guided it high up towards Danny Wright. It was almost like that Dennis Bergkamp goal against Argentina, the one where it was just played high across the field. And for the striker to take down and then work his way inside of the defender before firing home, Wright's goal on that day kept the Moors' hopes of winning the title alive. And of course, the Moors also managed to beat Braintree and Harrogate here that year as well. So this is going to be the sixth win in a row for the Moors against newly promoted teams here at the SportNation.bet. They actually haven't lost such a game since October the 28th, 2017, when they were beaten 4-0 by Fylde, as Osborne has probably gone in a bit too hard there against Jordan Richards for the referee's liking, just showing some studs there, and I wonder if maybe Osborne will go in the book here. He will indeed. The ball was there to be won. It wasn't hugely late, but when you're showing your studs, you can always expect to see a card there, and that's what's going to happen. Just having a look, of course, elsewhere in the National League, as this ball comes right down to Darren Carter, it's actually getting quite bright here at Damson Park for the first time in a while. Brightest it's been all game as the ball comes towards Shipway, and he's just pushed there by Macaulay, and looks like the referee may want a word as Richards gets into it here with a combination of Howe and Gleeson. And I think what Moors supporters will be very pleased to see is that there may have been just some slight fears when Jimmy Shan was named manager, and in those early games where we saw that Shan was so intent on passing the ball around and on playing football that was pretty attractive by Moors standards, you could have maybe had some reservations as to whether or not the Moors would lose that physical edge, but there's certainly been no sign of that in this game. And I think that's really the natural offset, that Jimmy Shan will want to keep that. That's always been the case from his perspective, you can be sure of that. But I think what Jimmy Shan has really been able to bring to the club is to have this ability to be a bit more adventurous. Jimmy Shan knows that in the likes of Callum Howe, Alex Goodger, Tyrone Williams, he's got players that he can trust to be physical and to keep being physical. So too can Stephen Gleeson, so too can Jamie Osborne, so too can Callum Maycock. He knows he has the trust in those players to keep that physical toughness going in the Moors and be that team that teams just hate playing against, quite frankly. But in addition to that, he's helped make the Moors into a side that can completely play you off the pitch, and that is certainly what has happened to Kings Lynn Town today. I'm sure Kings Lynn will be able to rediscover their game. They've showed some really good attitude in their first two games, battling to that draw against Yeovil, and of course really being the clear better team against Maidenhead from what we saw in those highlights. Not only did they get the 3 goals, but there was also the opportunity that Marriott had where he nearly chipped the goalkeeper, similar to what Osborne did earlier on in this game. Marriott hitting the crossbar. And there were several other great opportunities that went the way of Kings Lynn in that game. And if you can go to a place like Maidenhead and do that, then there's every expectation that you're going to be able to keep that up throughout the course of the season. I guess the real concern from a Kings Lynn perspective is their defence. They look a bit slow at the back, particularly against the likes of Sabara and Archer. And I think that against pacey teams, as Osborne's going to try and go for a chip that's even more ambitious than the one he netted earlier. That was never really going to trouble Archie Mayer, but when you're 5-0 up, why not? As Mayer now clears right down the throat of Darren Carter. The ball goes over him as well as Southwell. Hancock clearing it high rather than long. It's been nudged off of Kings Lynn's shoulder there and could come high once again up to Losa. Who's won that ball? Corner, says the linesman. As Carter just gets a foot in there, and I think Carter will know that Callum Howe has found himself in that position, that exact position against Losa a couple of times, and just wanting to make absolutely sure that he does get a touch on the ball, because if he doesn't, he knows that Losa is going to go down. Corner comes in, and it was going in towards the centre-back there, and the free kick goes the Moors' way in the end. But the ball initially was coming the way of Smith. But beyond him in the end, as we can see that the fourth official is readying the amount of time. We're going to get 3 minutes of stoppage time. And of course, it's worth having a look at the live table at the moment. It's very, very early in the season, and you can't read too much into this, but I think it will be encouraging nonetheless for Moors fans to know that they will sit fourth at the conclusion of this one. Eastleigh, of course, being held 1-1 by Altrincham, who are, of course, the Moors' opponents on Tuesday. Altrincham, so far this season, managing to get themselves a draw against Weymouth, a 0-0 draw, which was played on an absolutely horrendous surface up there in the northwest. As Tyrone Williams is up to his feet. But Altrincham being held 0-0 by Weymouth in what was a really scrappy game and played on a really horrendous surface. And then the 3-1 defeat at Notts County in midweek. That one was played on Wednesday. And then they, at the moment, they are holding on to what would be an excellent 1-1 draw at Eastleigh, should they get it. And of course, that will give Altrincham plenty of confidence going into Tuesday's game. But the Moors will have even greater confidence as a result of what will be confirmed in a few moments, we're sure, as a 5-0 victory over Kings Lynn Town. Mitch Hancock's trying to win a ball deep in Kings Lynn territory. Off of that throw-in. And then doing so at the second time of asking and trying to get Sabara into play. And now Sabara does latch on to that second ball. Gleeson, however, misses it, but he wins a free kick after he was just adjudged to have been tucked back there slightly. Just trying to listen in on a conversation between Darren Carter and Tyrone Williams. Carter asking Ty if he's okay. Couldn't quite hear Ty's response to that. He's just leant over at the moment. Looks to be in some pain. And of course it is a quick turnaround, so the Moors really cannot afford any more defensive knocks. We will of course see what's happened with Jordan Cranston when we get to speak to Jimmy Shan. Callum Howe looks to play the long ball up towards Sabara, and Sabara, that's a really good first touch, but it's actually bounced up into his arm. However, the referee's missed that, so let's play go on. The clearance nonetheless is wayward. And Ryan Boot will clear away, looking for Usher Shipway, but Smith has gotten to that particular ball. Gleeson then just tripped, but once again the play goes on. Clunan trying to get it back towards Brown, but Sabara's stolen it from him. The ball now back with Williams. And Piggott goes all the way back to Ryan Boot as the referee checks his watch. Hancock's trying to make something happen down the left-hand side. Usher Shipway just being pushed into, and that's going to be a Moors free kick. Maycock will play across the right-hand side. Could there be a chance for one mass attack? It doesn't look as if the Moors are particularly interested in trying to be too adventurous. And Gleeson is forced back to Piggott, and that is the end of the game. Solihull Moors, a 5-star performance here up against Kings Lynn Town. 4 of those goals coming in the second half. So we were speaking before the game about how we didn't expect Kings Lynn to be the kind of side that would fold easily. But once the second goal went in right at the start of the second half, that is exactly what happened. But I think really you have to give so much credit to the Moors for making that happen rather than really dragging down Kings Lynn too much. I think the big difference in that game really just a matter of the pace that Sabara and Archer could operate with relative to the centre-backs and also the left-back for Kings Lynn. The goals coming from Joe Sabara in the 39th minute. The low ball being played down the right-hand side. Archer managing to get around the defender to the outside and then slotting it underneath his legs, going low into the penalty area for Joe Sabara to rush in and slot home past Archie Mayer. The second goal coming from the corner from Cranston, nodded in by Archer. The third stolen by Jamie Osborne around 30 yards from goal, and a magnificent chip over Archie Mayer to make it 3-0 with a quite simply wonderful goal, a wonderful chip by Jamie Osborne. Then the fourth coming from Osborne's shot, which was saved low to his right from there, and Archer tapping in before Callum Howe made it 5 on the corner from Osborne from the right-hand side. What an amazing game that was. What an amazing result that is for Jimmy Shan. A 5-0 win at home against Kings Lynn Town. That arguably rivaling or even surpassing the first win that Jimmy Shan got here against Dover Athletic. And that was fantastic to say. We are going to be looking forward to the Altrincham game on Tuesday. No word of yet as whether we're going to be there on behalf of Switch Radio. So we will keep you up to speed with what's going to happen there, what with the restrictions that we've had in terms of getting around the country to grounds. It's been pretty difficult. Of course, we were not at Woking. And then, of course, next week we return here on Solihull Moors TV with the home game against Boreham Wood. But for now, for myself, Ben McPhillips, in the commentary area here at the SportNation.bet Stadium, it's goodbye and good afternoon to you.